During my school years, I fell in love with the writings of Irish poet Patrick Kavanagh through his poems Stony Grey Soil and Advent. The soul of these was embedded in the land and environment in which Kavanagh grew up. Without that, these poems simply would not have manifested. At the same time, I studied Shakespeare's Hamlet. I sensed a huge disconnect between the play and the supposed author, William Shakespeare from Stratford-upon-Avon. In retrospect, I realised that this lack of rootedness affected my appreciation of the play. Years later, and having been introduced to the Shakespeare authorship question and to the Earl of Oxford via the documentary Last Will and Testament, I entered into a new world in my relationship with Shakespeare. A number of his contemporaries knew that Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, was behind the name William Shakespeare. One of these was Henry Peacham. Depicted here is a representation of the illustration on the cover of his book Minerva Britannia, published in 1612. It shows a writer's hand emerging from a theatre curtain, the author unseen. Minerva was the Roman goddess of wisdom, of arms, and of the arts. She was born fully grown from the head of Jupiter, shaking her spear. The upside-down Latin words mente videbor translate as, with the mind, I will be seen. What do we know about the mind of Edward de Vere? Let's look at Shakespeare's Hamlet and the words of Ophelia. Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown! The courtiers, soldiers, scholars. Edward de Vere, greatest writer of all time and patron of other writers, was the fulcrum around whom the revolution that was Elizabethan drama revolved. A man eminently qualified to give acting advice, as Hamlet does here. Speak the speech, I pray, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I'd as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. So why do we care who wrote Shakespeare? Well, lots of reasons, including that this great author wanted us to know, as revealed to us in Hamlet's dying words. What a wounded name, Horatio! Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story.